Balancing of rotating masses. Balancing and its requirements. Why we require balancing? In any type of mechanical systems, we know that we are having both rotating as well as reciprocating components. In this case, the rotating or reciprocating components may undergo unbalances due to the inertia force acting on the systems. This type of unbalances may lead to the vibration of the system, and these vibrations of the system may ultimately lead to fatigue failure of the systems. In order to reduce this fatigue failure of the system, we have to reduce the vibration. For reducing the vibration in the initial stage of the design, we have to balance the systems. Balancing means balancing of different forces acting on the system. So, in this figure, we can see that we are having a shaft, and for the shaft there is an axis of rotation. To the shaft there is a mass that is attached to, and when the shaft is rotating, the mass attached to the shaft is also rotating. Because of that, if any type of unbalances, example, the shifting of center of mass of the rotating mass from the center of axis of the shaft may causes unbalances. This may happen in the different types of mechanical application systems, like the wheels of the turbine, in the case of a camshaft, crankshaft, etc. The unbalances may happen because of the shift or the causing of eccentricity in the case of rotating masses. So this type of eccentricity or this type of a shift of center of axis or center of mass of the rotating masses has to be reduced, because it will lead to unbalances in the systems. So when it is rotating, we know that the force, the centrifugal force, is acting always outwards in the case of the mass attached to a shaft. So the inertia force associated with the rotating or the reciprocating machine parts often produces unbalances that we know. The magnitude of the forces, the magnitude is nothing but a mr omega square, remains the same, but the direction changes. We know that the direction is changing from one point to another point because it is rotating with a particular angular velocity omega. So the reduction or the redistribution of the masses by addition of removal of masses is meant by what we called as balancing. Balancing reduces unbalances by removing or adding masses to the system. So in the other words, balancing is a way of balancing machines by rotating parts quickly and measuring the imbalance in using electronic equipments. The imbalance measured can then corrected by adding or subtracting weight from the rotating parts until the vibration is reduced. There are two types of balancing are there. The balancing is categorized basically on the plane on which the masses are acting. If there is only one plane and the mass center is basically concentrating at a single point, we can call it as that case we can call it as the case of static balancing. If different masses are attached to the single shaft at a different planes, we can call it as a dynamic balancing. Several masses rotating in several or different planes. In that case, the balancing is called dynamic balancing. In the other case, the balancing is called static balancing. Coming to the static balancing, look into the figure. We can see that it is a symbolic representation of a rigid body rotating with a constant angular velocity omega, and in this case the omega is representing. So this may be any type of turbine wheels. For example, it may be a turbine wheel. In this case, when a force is attaching on the blades of the turbine or something like that, the forces acting on the different vanes or the planes is changing. Because of same reason, the forces or that will causes unbalances. Similarly, in this case, we are considering a rotating mass where three masses m1, m2 and m3 are attached to a single axis of rotation or single point. And here these three masses are represented in such a way that mass m1 is acting at a radius of r1 from the center or axis, making an angle of theta 1 with the reference, that is the x-axis. Similarly, M2 is the mass that is attached at a radius of R2, making an angle of theta 2 with the reference. And M3 is also another mass that is attached to the same axis at the same point, where it is making an angle of theta 3 and it is acting at a radius of R3. So, if the system of having three masses M1, M2 and M3 are in a complete balanced situation, then the force, like each masses contributes to the force. What is the force? The external or the outward centrifugal force. How we are expressing the centrifugal force? We are expressing the centrifugal force as mr omega square. So this mr omega square will be produced by each force. So m1 producing m1 r1 omega square, M2 producing M2 R2 omega square, and M3 producing M3 R3 omega square. So the vector sum of these forces can be expressed as M1 R1 omega square plus M2 R2 omega square plus M3 R3 omega square. The rotor is said to be statically balanced if F is equal to 0. That is the summation of M1 R1 omega square plus M2 R2 omega square plus M3 R3 omega square is equal to 0. Then we can say that the rotor is said to be in static balance. If consider the condition, if F is not 0, that means the rotor is not statically balanced, that is in unbalanced condition. How we can balance that thing? As we said, balancing is a process of introducing or removal of the counter masses or the masses to the system. So we can balance the system by introducing a counter weight or balance weight of mass mc at a radius of rc to balance the rotor, so that if it is in complete balance situation, initially the situation was m1 r1 omega square plus m2 r2 omega square plus m3 r3 omega square. Now the situation is m1 r1 omega square plus m2 r2 omega square plus m3 r3 omega square plus mc rc omega square is equal to 0. Obviously, if we are drawing the force polygon of the systems by considering the direction of the system, we can easily solve the problem of static balancing, and if for a complete balanced state, the force polygon remains closed. So this is a force polygon or the vector. This is a force vector for m1 r1. This is a vector m2 r2, m3 r3. So these three things we know, but the magnitude, if we know the magnitude and the direction of a mc, we can easily say that the system is balanced. For the complete balanced condition, when this MC RC will close the polygon. And obviously we can write this as in a simple way as sigma mr plus MC RC equal to 0. The equation can be solved mathematically or graphically. So for mathematical solution, we can resolve the system into x and z components. So we can write easily as sigma mr cos theta plus mc rc cos theta c equal to 0, and sigma mr sin theta plus mc rc sin theta equal to 0. We can rewrite the system as mc rc cos theta c equal to minus sigma mr cos theta, as well as mc rc sin theta c equal to minus sigma mr sin theta. So we can name this equation as 1 and this equation as 2. So this part you have to do yourself. By squaring and adding, you will get the answer as mcrc equal to root of sigma mr cos theta whole square plus sigma mr sin theta whole square, and tan theta can be expressed as tan theta c equal to minus sigma mr sin theta by minus sigma mr cos theta. So this part you have to solve by yourself. So this type of problems can be solved either by analytical method or by graphical method. So it finds the graphical method is so simple, because in the graphical methods the only task is just taking the direction. So first you have to draw the given problem in according to a particular scale with the exact scale and with the exact angle, etc. Then you can just copy this thing with the known magnitude of m1 r1, the known magnitude of m2 r2, and known magnitude of m3 r3. And if the system is to be in complete balance, then the polygon has to be closed. That will help you to find out the magnitude of MC as well as RC, and the angle of this thing is can be the theta c can be measured from this with reference to the with respect to the reference we are considering. So you can easily measure the value of theta c from this figure. Thank you.